Progress.
Okay, so now our recording is in progress. This first part is the part of speech section. So in this case, we are fortunately not having to say whether we've got what kind of noun, but we do need to recognize whether something is a noun, a pronoun, a verb, an adjective, an adverb, a preposition, a conjunction, or an interjection. So we've had this in multiple various forms on the last few tests. Let me just double check. No. Fortunately, we're at least not having to nitpick exactly what kind of noun we have, which should help. I know that was probably one of the hardest things. But so for each sentence, the best way to go about this is to go ahead and break down your sentence, find your subject and verb, find your verb, then find your subject. Then look at the word that is italicized to determine how it's being used compared to that subject verb and then any complements that may come. So for number one, they attended the concert last weekend. How is the word attended being used? What's your verb, right? Because it answers our first question. What is the verb in this sentence? Attended. Exactly. So this is our verb. Several cats ran into Rob's garage. It is a preposition. How do we know? It's like the fox in the log. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I always did a mouse in a box, but yeah, the mouse ran into the box. I don't want, let's see that. Nope, guess not. Whatever. There. It's not lining up and it's bothering me. All right, what about this one? The truck driver delivered the packages quickly. What's our verb here? Delivered. Who delivered?
It's an adverb.
It is an adverb because it's telling us what? How the packages were delivered. It's telling us what? What'd you say? Did you say something different? Oh. Yeah, maybe. Sure. To what extent they were delivered? They were delivered quickly? Sure. We'll go with that. Both of them work, right? My friends and I walked home after school. Adjectives. Something talks about after, before, in between. So anything talking about like time or time relative to an event, you're looking at a preposition. And that is what this is. Okay. I wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch yesterday. Conjunction. Yep. It's combining or connecting two similar items, so coordinating conjunction. Number 6, she was counting the ballots during social studies class. Sorry. It got shook up a little. What? Did it scare you? Me with my soda specifically? Oh, wow, you don't jump very much. I didn't realize it scared you. Maybe one time, I do remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you would think having to deal with Andrew, it would not be so scary, but here we are. Oh, sorry, I'm recording. I forgot that. All right, what is she? What is she?
Noun.
It is acting as the subject, which makes it a noun. Sorry, a noun form. It's not a noun though. What is she? Pronoun. Oh, that's lovely. All right. 7, hey, that is my seat. Right, interjection. Nope. That's not gonna fit and it bothers me. INT, whatever, that'll work. Okay. Will they finish the test on time? Now, this one, you should know what they is. It's a pronoun, yes. Because they refers to people or things, usually people, sometimes things. Okay. Again. But yeah, it's a pronoun, but not specific people or things. The diagram was pretty complicated for us. Noun. How do we know it's a noun?
It's your subject.
Okay, yeah, it's acting as a subject because diagram can also be a verb. Please diagram this sentence. I'm saying you diagram this sentence. That in that case is acting as a verb. In this case, it's a noun. He will practice his musical piece soon. Yeah, what question does soon answer? When. And what answers the question when? Adverbs. Reggie saw the awesome sight from the air. What do you think, Abigail? Adjective, yes. Describing sight, which in this case is a noun. Again, find your verb, saw. Reggie saw what? The sight. What kind? The awesome sight. All right, her sister is the oldest member of the group.
Adjective.
It is a pronoun form, but what is it doing? It's answering the question, whose,
So it's acting as an adjective.
which makes it act as an adjective. It's enjoy that victory. Actually, don't. You have so many. You got this, bud. You're good at this. Yes, in this case, it is followed, a pronoun is followed immediately by a noun, and it is a possessive pronoun. So it is describing sister. It's not a pronoun in this case, it's an adjective. Okay, check the score, Tom. It is the verb. What's my subject then? Nope, the score is not checking Tom. But Tom is a direct address. We're telling him to check. There we go. Remember, this is the what's it called? An interrogative. Interrogative is stuck in my head. It's the interjection. No?
What's understood?
It is the understood you, but what kind of sentence has an understood you? Imperative. That's what I'm trying to say. Couldn't get it. It's an imperative sentence. You have the understood you as the subject, and you are being told to check the score. Okay, are you sure of yourself? Are you? How do we know it is a pronoun? Yes. How do we know it's a pronoun and not an adjective? Y'all know how it's acting in the sentence? No. It is the object of the preposition of.
I knew that.
I know. I knew you were. Oh well. I could feel it. This is driving me crazy. All right, slowly they carried the couch down the stairs. So where's your main verb? Carried. Who carried? They carried. How did they carry? So do you get any sort of visual in your head when you read the sentence? Slowly they carried the couch down the stairs. You got two guys carrying a couch down the stairs. Okay, you got the episode of Friends running through your head. What is slowly telling us? Anybody? What do you think, Aiden? How? What answers how? Adverb. You what? I know, just tell me then. All right, so did you say Lego set?
Yeah, they have like a central perk, like I said. It's pretty cool. Actually.
You want? I can bring it through.
All right, what time is it? There we go. Let's go ahead and finish the first part, and I want to have time to finish this and then talk about the writing assignment tomorrow, since we didn't get it today, since nobody read it last night. That's okay. Identify each group of words as a sentence, a fragment, or a run-on. This is an excellent activity for y'all because I'm catching a lot of these in the writing assignments. So one best practice of determining whether something is a fragment or a run-on is to read it aloud. So, okay. If your parents think today's fashions are weird, do we have a verb? Think. Do I have a subject? Parents. If your parents today think fashions are weird, and we have fashions are weird, but that's part of a clause. But why? So we have a subject and verb. Actually, we have two sets of subjects and verb. How is this a fragment? Because Gabe's right. It's a fragment.
Doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right. And honestly, that's enough to determine that it's a fragment. But there is a word here that makes this a dependent clause. And when we get to clauses, if you can start recognizing them, it will help you tremendously. What is making this a fragment? If. Was that Abigail I heard whispered over there? It sounded like you. Is it you? Excellent. Excellent. Yes. So because of the word if, we just made this conditional. We need an independent full sentence to meet the conditions of this dependent clause. Because if it said, your parents think today's fashions are weird, we would have a perfectly acceptable sentence. The fact that we have the word if there means that we need more to have a complete thought. There is a condition. So fragment. All right. Next, they should see the clothes people wore during the Middle Ages. It's a complete sentence. Even though when you look at it and you try to break it down, you say they should see, you've got a subject and verb, then all of a sudden you've got clothes people wore during the Middle Ages. You've got another subject and verb. So you're like, wait a minute, is this two complete sentences? But they should see the clothes. There's a missing that, which is also a subordinating conjunction that people wore during the Middle Ages is a dependent clause. So it does not count. Wait a minute, let me just do. So yeah, this is a perfectly good sentence because that other subject and verb are part of a dependent clause. Okay, anyway, brown bears, including the grizzly and the Kodiak. The largest brown bear is the Kodiak. It is a run-on. So we have one sentence, brown bears include the grizzly and the Kodiak. Period. The largest brown bear is the Kodiak. What else could we do besides a period to make this work?
You could say brown bears including the and the Kodiak, the largest of which being the Kodiak. The larger.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait,
Maybe.
that's a fragment?
Maybe. Yeah.
That's
So
a fragment.
what do you need between two independent clauses? A comma and a coordinating conjunction. So we could say brown bears include the grizzly and the Kodiak, and the largest brown bear is the Kodiak. That is a perfectly acceptable compound sentence. But the fact that you have no semicolon, which nobody really does that. Oh my gosh, just give it a comma and a coordinating conjunction or make two sentences. Separating two independent sentences with a semicolon is just annoying, but it is grammatically correct. All right, so number 4, Kodiak bears weigh as much as 1,700 pounds and can grow to a height of 10 feet. Everybody agree? Does that sound like a perfectly good sentence? Why? Because we have a coordinating conjunction. It connects these two. It's not awkward. It helps kind of smooth out that middle ground. No native people on Antarctica. Yeah, we got a fragment. Right. It sounds sarcastic.
There's nothing much in there.
No. And there are no native people on Antarctica, but you would need there are no native people on Antarctica. You have no verb here. All right, examine the ozone layer, sleep patterns, and fish survival in sub-zero temperatures.
No, it's relevant.
Okay, so this one is, okay. This one is meant to be a fragment.
There's no
You have no subject.
okay.
But-
Understood you.
Okay, but if it were an imperative sentence, then yes, there's an understood you, which makes it a perfectly acceptable sentence.
It is imperative.
Examine the ozone layers, but I'm not telling you to examine the ozone layer, sleep patterns, and fish survival in sub-zero
But think
temperatures.
about this, if you like looking at a thing that's like, these are your tasks to do.
Right, then,
Then that's a sentence.
right. So if
So
you,
become sometimes a fragment.
no, it is sort of, this one is just a bad example. Bold. So we're gonna say it's a sentence. Are you kidding me? Struggles. So, okay. It's a sentence if it's imperative. But it's a fragment if it's not. It has no subject. I'll check. I don't think you have anything quite that ambiguous on the test. This is just 6B. There we go. An area that gets very little precipitation. But I have a verb and a subject,
But it don't sound right.
but it don't sound right. And honestly, that's enough. An area that gets very little precipitation, you're like, what area? Like you just want more information. Now, if we said this is an area that gets very little precipitation, the reason that verb does not work is because you have a subordinating conjunction. It's separating out the dependent clause. So yeah, this one is a fragment. Why? Seriously. Okay. Although scientists and other workers live in Antarctica for about a year at a time. It is a fragment. But I've got subjects. I actually got two subjects. I got a verb. Why is it a fragment?
Comma after although it makes sense. Although scientists and other workers live in Antarctica.
Right. So although is called a subordinating conjunction, and it is creating a condition or a need for more information. Yes, scientists and other workers live in Antarctica for about a year at a time. That is a complete and perfectly independent sentence. But when you throw that word although in front of it, you have just created a need for more information. You created a condition, in this case for comparison, right? We're comparing this and something else. All right, so it is a fragment. Many people are afraid of bears. Encounters with bears are actually infrequent. Does everybody agree? Is this a run-on? My goodness, why does it keep randomly jumping? All right, yep, it's a run-on. What would we need here to make it an appropriate sentence? Yeah, well, yeah, or a coordinating conjunction. We got to combine two sentences. Many people are afraid of bears, but encounters with bears are actually infrequent. Or put a period there. You could do, however. There you go. Many people are afraid of bears, although encounters with bears are actually infrequent. Sure, that would do it. Very good. Why? What are you doing? Okay, a bear's sense of smell is more developed than its hearing or sight. Is a perfectly acceptable sentence, yes. Okay, all right. Everybody good with those? Can we try to find those in our papers when we write them? Read your sentences. I think you'll find those fragments and run-ons, usually because of one little word. You throw with in front of it, or if, or although, or because. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna save the clear and logical construction and conciseness for tomorrow. Let's see if we can get these verbals. So for the verbals, in the first blank, you need to italicize what kind of verbal it is. Participle, gerund, infinitive, In the second blank, tell if it's used as a noun, adjective, or adverb. Now, I really like to just go in and check for my infinitives and maybe check for the participles if there's any that don't end in ing, because to me, those are really easy to find. Then I go back and figure out what type they are. But that's up to you guys. And as far as doing it together, we're just gonna do it in order. But that might be a best practice, because if you know it's a participle, then it's always what part of speech? Anybody? Participle is always what? It's always an adjective. And a gerund is always a what? Always. So it is obvious that you are looking at the subject of your sentence and it ends in ing. Well, ta-da, you have a gerund. If it's obviously describing another noun, you've got a participle. Okay, he bought some flowers to give his wife. This is an infinitive. All right, do we know how it's being used? Okay. Yeah, infinitive is sort of a pain because it could be anything. He bought what? Flowers. Why? Yep. Yeah. So it's why he bought. So even though it's right there with flowers, so you would think, okay, maybe it's describing the flowers. It's telling you why the action happened, why he bought the flowers. That's why it's an adverb. You were correct, sir. For the love of all that's, why does it keep just like randomly selecting a completely different? Oh well, word. What can you do? Adverb. The water boiling on the stove is hot. How do we know it's a participle and not a gerund?
Because it's acting as an adjective.
Which water?
The water boiling.
The water boiling. Yes. Those questions are really important. If you haven't already, make sure you've got them nice, neat, easy to find somewhere in your notes, on one of the review guides or a note card or something. What do we say part? Why are you doing this to me? There we go. Participle, which means it's being used as an adjective. Okay. The broken window was expensive to repair. All right. It ends in en. There is only one thing that ends in en. What is it? It's a participle. Yes. That's all we need to know. Although it does become apparent that it's describing the window. So it's describing a noun, therefore it must be an adjective. But if it's participle, it's an adjective. Running in the wrong shoes can cause damage to your feet. Right, Gabe? You run cross country, don't you? Or you did. Yeah. Especially if you're like a runner, cross country runner, marathon runner. So what is this? Running? Gerund. Why? Huh?
Now.
It is, well, of course, if it's a noun, if it's a gerund, but yes, it is the subject. Running is what can cause damage. It's what's doing the, it's what's doing the action. Why are y'all like this? It's exhausting. All right, gerund, noun. Okay, number 5, and we'll finish this tomorrow. Jennifer was given the job of caring for the children. How do you know?
Because it's acting as an adjective.
Describing what?
Children.
The children are caring? Jennifer's caring. You okay? What'd you say? All right, it is not a participle.
What?
Can we please look again? You have a keyword here. Why is it a gerund? Aiden, thank you. Can you please say louder for the whole class?
Preposition.
What's our preposition? Of. Now, I will tell you, of caring is an adjective phrase describing the job, but caring is the object of the preposition of. So I appreciate your willingness to try. It is okay to be wrong, especially on the review guide. That's the whole point of it existing. So don't let him razz you too hard about it. But yeah, this one is a gerund. All right, so tonight I want you guys to read The Escape of Alligators. I want you to answer the questions. Don't have to write them in paragraph form. Just as you're reading, get the information. Oh, this happened. Okay, then this happened. Like just jot down some key phrases to put them in chronological order and bring that with you tomorrow. Okay, thank you. That is all.
I was like, dude, what? That is crazy.